Hey yo, this is Dash.
Yeah.
So I am back out at the smoker, and it is time for me to go ahead and get my chicken in the smoker. So you guys saw I have some chicken breast as well as some chicken thighs. Now usually I prefer to get boneless, skinless thighs only because it cuts down on my work time in the beginning, and in the end I don't have to take off the skin of the chicken. I don't usually cook with the skin on the chicken unless it's whole chickens or chicken wings. The skin tends to get a little rubbery, so I just take it off rather. Now, and then on the tail end, once it's finished cooking, I have to take the bones out of the chicken thighs. So that's why I prefer to use boneless, skinless thighs. But I digress. Let me go ahead and get the chicken in the smoker. And in case you were wondering, almost 7 o'clock and I'm at 3,000 steps. Yeah, do a lot of moving around. Typically it's a lot of hurry up and wait, walking to and from the house a few times to get the smoker going, walking around in the kitchen, getting my seasonings, getting the chicken taken care of, getting those things. There's music involved, so there's a little bit of dancing around too, get hyped first thing in the morning, you know? All right, so let me get the chicken in the smoker. All right, so here we go. Let's get these guys in the smoker. In case anyone was keeping track, this is glove number 8. And last but not least. All right, so there you have it. I have my smoker loaded. You see my pork shoulder, you see my brisket, you see my chicken breast and my chicken thighs over there, okay? So now we're gonna close up the smoker, let it do its thing, let the chicken, the pork, and the beef hang out for a few hours. And all I have to do at this point is I need to get some more wood to bring down to the garage, and we just wait. All right, so I just went and got some wood, and pretty much in perfect timing, you see the temperature on the smoker right now is down to just under 2 1/4, and we're again just under 2 1/4 there. One of the questions I get asked all the time is about how much wood I use when I'm cooking. So it is highly contingent upon how I'm running the smoker, as well as if it's cold out, if it's hot out, if I have a lot of extra meat in the smoker. There are a lot of different variables that will determine just how much wood you go through. But typically, I can go through 2 to 3 sticks or splits. This is a split, okay? This is a medium-sized split, all right? I can go to 2 to 3 of these an hour. Now let's find a smaller one. In comparison, okay, this is like half the size of this. This is would be considered a small split. Now, this one has no bark. This one has bark. Again, I talked about that earlier. Your mileage may vary as far as whether you want the bark or no bark. Some people take the time to take the bark off of this before they start cooking. I don't worry about it. Hopefully you guys can see well enough into the firebox there. And I'm gonna kind of stir those up, poke the fire a little, get that little raring. I'm gonna chuck in 2, and let's get another good piece in there. Here's another good piece, but it's fairly light and dry, which means that this is gonna catch pretty quickly. So I'm gonna chuck a 4th piece in, and this one is a little knotty, so it'll burn a little slower, so that's good. But we're just gonna chuck it in there and let it do what it does. Another question I get asked fairly often is in regards to dampers and whether or not I should have your exhaust stack wide open or have it closed part way. Again, this is another one of those things where your mileage is gonna vary. How what the ambient air temperature is gonna help to determine that. How much fuel you have in your fire is gonna help determine that. How much meat you have in your smoker is gonna help determine that. You guys see my smokestack there. That smokestack or the exhaust is connected to a 6-inch, or actually it's a 6-inch 90, and that 6-inch 90 goes to 4 feet of black pipe, and that black pipe goes straight out the window. I have no damper on the exhaust. Now, as far as the intake, I do limit that. Right now, that's it. That's all the air I have going into my fire. Now, I just added some wood, so I really don't have to do anything to this right now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep an eye on this temperature. I just added 4 pieces of wood to the fire, so it'll probably take it about 15 minutes for that wood to catch. And then I want my temperature to be right at about 250 degrees. Sometimes I see you guys who are doing cooking with, cooking period. You guys are adjusting your fire way too much, way too much. You have to trust the process. The process is the fire's gonna go down, you add wood, the temperature's gonna come back up. Trust the process. I know that the temperature is gonna come back up. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna let it do what it does. Now, in hindsight, or the converse of that, if the temperature doesn't come up to where I want it, I might need to shuffle that wood around in the firebox a little bit to get it a little more air. Not open up the dampers anymore, because what will end up happening is if I open up the dampers, the fire gets too hot, and then I'm chasing my tail trying to get the fire to come back down to where I need it to come. I usually prefer to let the temperature ramp up slowly, level off, and then once it levels off, it'll start to drop back down. Once it drops back down, that's when I know I need to add wood. I do my temperature control by feeding the fire, not by messing with the dampers. Usually, to me, and on this smoker, again, your mileage may vary, this smoker reacts to opening up that damper. It'll shoot up 50 degrees if I open up the damper. I get it to where I need it to settle in. Once it's settled in, I leave it at that. I open up the fire door to chuck in 2 pieces of wood, maybe 3, and that's it. Simple.